If you've discovered that you're a covert narcissist and decided you would like to change, you have a difficult road ahead. Change is possible, but it often requires long-term therapy and a strong commitment to follow through with making difficult changes in your behavior. There are some things you can do to help yourself make substantial and permanent changes, but it will not be an easy task. So, let's get to it. Number 1. Consider therapy. If you believe yourself to be any kind of narcissist and you're serious about wanting to change, you really need to consider getting professional help. The roots of narcissism run deep into your childhood, and treating the underlying causes of the disorder will take a strong commitment to long-term therapy. To really engage in effective and long-lasting healing, you need to explore the early experiences that resulted in the formation of your condition. It's also a good idea to engage in family therapy with your loved ones, since they have also been living with the impact of your condition. It will be difficult, and it will require a strong commitment. But if you can seek out professional help, you'll stand a much better chance for making significant changes and really healing those old wounds. Number 2, celebrate your decision. Narcissists have a tendency to see the need for therapy as an admission of being flawed or as a weakness, but nothing could be further from the truth. The decision to dive deep into the wounds you survived in your own childhood is one of the bravest and strongest things you can do. If you've recognized that you are not happy with the way you treat other people and you want to change, you should celebrate that decision. You should recognize that you're embarking on a difficult journey that requires strength, a strong will, and courage. The internal demons you'll face will be more fearsome than any real-life monster. Celebrate your courage and celebrate when you make even seemingly minor steps in the right direction. If you're working on personal growth, you need to deserve to be recognized for the strength of character it takes to make that decision. Number 3, you need to love yourself. It might be surprising to hear this, given the story you've told yourself and others most, if not all, of your life, but you need to learn how to love yourself. While you may tell others you're all-powerful and a great person, if you really think about how you feel inside, you'll likely see that you're riddled with fear, shame, and self-loathing. You don't deserve that, and you never did. Those feelings arose in childhood because of specific conditions that prevented you from developing a healthy sense of self. What you constructed in a healthy ego's place is nothing more than a ghost. You need to dig up your true self, give that little you inside the support, faith, and love you deserved as a child, and revive your ego. This is how you should have been treated as a child. Every child deserves to have someone who believes in them and who sees how wonderful they are. Many people don't get that, but you can give that to yourself now. You can take that wounded child into your heart and give them the love they have always deserved. Until you do, you cannot truly heal, and you cannot truly love other people. Number 4, understand your triggers. All narcissists have triggers. These are situations, words, or actions that trigger your narcissistic behavior, your need for narcissistic supply of adulation. Begin by noticing what has happened when you feel a sudden surge of anger or a need to react strongly. Who is there? What was said? Did someone do something? Carry a notebook with you for a week and write down the specifics about every situation that triggers you. Also include how you felt. What was it that made you feel so angry? What did you perceive the other person was doing or the situation was revealing about you? When you start to recognize your triggers, you can begin to examine the roots of how they formed. That's an important step to healing those old wounds and giving yourself the love you deserve. Number 5, check your reactions. Another important step is learning how to manage those impulsive reactions you have when you feel triggered. Most of the time, narcissists react without thinking about what they are doing or the consequences of their actions. Try to pause before you react. You might make a note to count to 10 every time you feel a surge of anger or other strong emotion. Once you know what triggers you, you can recognize what's causing your feelings. And now you can begin to check your reactions and choose different behaviors. Creating a space between the stimulus, the trigger, and the response can give you the opportunity to choose a new behavior that, over time, will become your new habit. Habits are formed when you repeatedly and consciously act instead of emotionally reacting. These new habits can be better and less narcissistic than your usual tendencies. Number 6. Choose and use empathy. Empathy is not an ability that narcissists have, but you can develop it. It's critical for reducing the normal behavior of a narcissist. This will be perhaps the most difficult step to take, but if you can do it, you will be on your way to improving your behavior and to genuine change. To do this, you have to make a habit out of responding with empathy. Begin by listening to other people and really thinking about their needs and perceptions. Think about how you approach them. Be careful not to intrude into their space or take up their time without their permission. You start by consciously thinking about other people, and then it becomes a habit. You can also start to train yourself to react differently when you're triggered. You can start by writing down reactions that incorporate empathy. How would it make you feel if someone reacted to you in a narcissistic way? How do you feel when criticized? Other people feel the same way. Now think about how you would rather be treated. That can be a guide to how you should react to them. Empathy is not about reading the mind of other people. It's about how you would like to be treated. You don't want people to criticize you or make you feel worthless, so don't treat them that way either. The most important thing here is insinuating that pause before you react so that you can really think about the best way to react and begin responding with more empathetic behaviors. This will be difficult and even strange at first, but if you keep doing it every time you feel triggered, this will become a habit for you. You will have successfully created a new behavior pattern. Number 7, take responsibility. The final step is to acknowledge that you and only you are responsible for your actions. No one made you react the way you did. You chose to behave that way. You have to accept this to make the changes you need to make to really heal yourself. To take responsibility is not to admit that you are weak or flawed. It simply means acknowledging that you have control over your own behavior and you can choose to behave differently. This is a good step toward creating long-lasting change. When you do these things, you'll start to notice that other people are responding in a positive way toward the new you. The attention you have sought for your entire life through manipulation and control will now come to you because you're becoming a responsible, empathetic person. You can let go of those narcissistic tendencies forever and welcome that damaged child home. Finally, changing is difficult for anyone to do. It means accepting responsibility for your actions and making a conscious effort to confront the reasons for your negative behaviors. To implement long-lasting and effective changes in your covert narcissism, you need to have courage, you need to cultivate self-love, and you need to become aware of how your behaviors affect other people. It's critical to understand how important it is to change. Aside from the positive effects it will have in your relations with other people, it will also increase your longevity. Watch the next video about how narcissism affects your life expectancy, so you understand just how devastating the negative impacts of narcissism can be for your health. Thanks for watching.